friend. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all had a restful break and are ready for an afternoon filled with insightful discussions and thought-provoking presentations. This afternoon, we are honored to have our resource speakers who are leaders in their respective fields, and their insights are sure to enrich our understanding and spark new ideas in this first ever national conference on business, education, social science, and technology 2024. To introduce our first speaker, we have John Joel D. Romia, Program Committee Member of BEST 2024. Sir?
Maayong hapon sa ating tanan. I have the honor to present to you our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker graduated with a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of the Philippines, Diliman in 1992 and became a licensed chemical engineer in 1994 after landing in the top 10 licensure exam. He is an environmentalist by heart and pursued a Master's of Science in Environmental Engineering from the Mapua Institute of Technology, where he graduated summa cum laude. He then went on to finish his PhD in Environmental Engineering from UP Diliman with a sandwich program at the University of Houston in Texas, USA. From his undergraduate up to doctorate degree, he was a recipient of the Department of Science and Technology Scholarship Program. Currently, he serves as a member of the Commission on Higher Education Technical Panel for the Environmental Engineering Program. He has established a long career in the academy spanning for more than 20 years. He has had teaching experiences at Negros Oriental State University in Dumaguete City, the University of the Philippines, Diliman, and the Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City. He was the previous chairperson of the Environmental and Sanitary Engineering Program at TIPQC, a program with APET International Accreditation. Currently, he serves as the Dean of the Graduate Programs, supervising 15 graduate offerings, mainly in computing and engineering. He has recently steered two of these programs to attain ASEAN Universities Network Quality Assurance Assessed status. He is an accomplished academician and mentor and has more than 200 Scopus and Web of Science Index research publications under his name and has made research presentations in many parts of the world. He has also received grants for graduate curriculum development abroad. Despite these achievements, he finds transforming learners into better versions of themselves as his greatest calling. Thus, he derives the greatest joy in mentoring others, students and professionals alike, into better problem solvers, innovators, and lifelong learners. Let's give him a round of applause to our keynote speaker, Dr. Ruji P. Medina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Mayang hapon. Mayat-ayat na hapon. So, all right. So it's my first time in Estancia, but I feel like I'm not a total stranger here because I see a lot of familiar faces, and I'm very happy that I finally get to meet some of my uh, alumni from the Doctor in Information Technology and Doctor of Engineering with specialization in computer engineering programs at the TIP Quezon City. Okay? I hope you also want to be under my mentorship. So if you're interested, just approach me at any time and we can talk about the programs that you're offering. Incidentally, I've been offering kanina the MSCS scholarships. No? So we have that. Hopefully, we will also have scholarships for the DIT and DN programs. So, yeah, sure. Hopefully, if the UST is going to approve our application. All right, so good afternoon. I shall be talking this afternoon about a topic that is quite close to my heart. Okay, of course, I'm talking about sustainability, and I want to talk about sustainability with um, the aim of putting you within the context because sustainability should be in everyone's mind, and we should all be working together towards sustainability. So let's try to situate each one of you as either a researcher or as an innovator within the ecosystem of sustainability. Sustainability is a very big word, okay? Does anyone know what it means? Or we only have a certain context of what the concept of what sustainability is. No? Fortunately, the United Nations Brundtland Commission in 1987 provided a very good definition of sustainability. The UN says sustainability is the ability, is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to also meet their own needs. It means that whatever we are able to do now and enjoy now, our future generations should also be able to enjoy. Therefore, we cannot deplete resources. Why? Because the resources will only be up to our generation. Wala nang matitira to our children and our children's children. That is not sustainable. Okay? Now, there are many challenges that we are facing right now in the area of sustainability. In fact, things like climate change, inequality, resource depletion, even social justice are current problems that are facing us today. We don't want to leave a world, we don't want to leave a world that is worse for for the next generations. And therefore, these are challenges that we all need to confront and do something about. These challenges are going to demand innovative solutions. And the innovative solutions need to be grounded on rigorous research. We cannot possibly provide answers to these problems unless we do research. And I know that by being here, you already know that you are going to do something about this problem. Now, these problems are broad. Okay? In fact, if you look at the problems that we are facing and the sustainable solutions that are being required for this one, they encompass not only the environmental aspects, but they also encompass the economic and even the social aspects. And that is why I'm very happy that this is the theme of BEST 2024. Gathering the business, education, social sciences, and technology professionals under one roof so that we can discuss the things that we can do. Now, it is also very good that you are all academicians. Meron ba hindi academician dito? Is there anyone who's not an academician here? I guess we all are, right? So we are all uniquely positioned to actually contribute towards solving the problems of sustainability. Why? Because as members of the academy, we have the power to create knowledge. At the same time, we also have the power to influence policy based on the results of our research. And most importantly, we have the power within our hands to drive innovation forward so that we are able to shape a more sustainable future. In my talk this afternoon, I shall be discussing 4 aspects towards sustainability. Okay? So let's first talk about the first aspect, which is a crucial role of research. It is said that research is a bedrock of progress because it is through research that we are able to, number 1, uncover new knowledge, number 2, challenge existing paradigms, and number 3, develop solutions to complex problems. Consider the digital revolution, okay? Now, as a should I say my generation? Okay, as a Gen X, sinabi ko na Gen X, okay, you know my age already, no? As a Gen X, I am uniquely positioned to tell you about our journey of the digital evolution or digital revolution because we started out with almost nothing. Of course, there was technology, but not the high-tech type of technology. first things that we got on our hands was the game, uh, not Game Boy, Game and Watch. The one with the Popeye, I don't know if you call that Popeye, the one catching eggs and the stuff, no? So that was when we were exposed to something that was high tech. In high school, we had Pac-Man. And then we had, ano pa ba iba yun? The great game came so much later. We had Pac-Man, we had Sega. And then in high school, we were also introduced already to the PC. In high school, we were introduced to the PC. And then in college, we graduated to the PC 80. And then after graduation, that's when we had Windows-based programs. So I had to learn Windows after graduation. In fact, the first time that I was able to use the Windows operating system was when I created the application for work. So, but fast forward now, there is no one in this room probably who can survive without a gadget in his hand. Tama? Can you survive without your cell phone? No. Those who say yes are lying. Tama ba? We can survive without our cell phones because our cell phone is life. Our social contacts are there. Our banking is done on the cell phones. Our work follows us on our cell phones. I envy those long ago na pag mag-a-attend ng conference na ganito, talagang conference lang. Ngayon, we're still submitting reports. Even now, I was submitting reports. No? So it follows us everywhere. We cannot survive without these things. No? But when you come to think of it, the digital revolution did not occur overnight. The digital revolution came because many people ahead of us devoted years, decades, and decades of their lives to do research in the areas of computer science, mathematics, technology, engineering. Now, our Gen Alpha and even our Gen Z, they don't understand this one. They think that the cell phone has been there forever. Okay? But even now, research is still ongoing because we have not yet invented the perfect cell phone. Okay? So research is still ongoing in that area. Research is not confined to the library or the laboratory. Okay? This is one thing that we should always remember. Research spans across different disciplines and different sectors. And when we talk about spanning different sectors and spanning different disciplines, I would want to emphasize the interconnectedness of all of these things. Because you cannot isolate a research in one field without thinking about the impact in other areas. Everything is interconnected. Be it business, education, they're all interconnected. A perfect example would be the innovation on educational technology now. So how many of you do your classes online? How many of you use a learning management system in your school? Okay? So when you use your learning management system, you use an innovation in educational technology. But come to think of it, that not only influences learning, but it also influences social behavior. Because students are going to be molded by their own experiences. Okay, now, having said that research cannot exist on its own, it has to be interconnected to other areas. The challenges that we face today are usually multifaceted also. They are multifaceted, complex, and thus they require solutions coming from all the different disciplines. Therefore, it's not only the problems that are multifaceted, it's also our approach that should be multifaceted. Okay, example for this one would be tackling the problem of climate change. Okay? Of course, we are all cognizant that our climate has been changing for the past few years. In fact, I have observed it myself. My parents, my father was a farmer in Negros. And growing up, April, second week, is a time when the rains would come. So those coming from Negros here, please raise your hands. Kailan na ngayon dumarating ang ulan? June, July. Growing up, it would come like clockwork every afternoon, starting the second week of April. How do I know that? Because that's also the fiesta time. So normally, pag fiesta sa atin, umulan talaga yan, growing up. But now, weather and climate are so unpredictable. It's a common concern for all of us, and we should be doing something about it. However, most of us think that climate change can only be addressed by scientists. As educators, we think that that's not within our realm of expertise. As social scientists, we don't care about it. So climate change, we look at it as a science problem. But come to think of it, climate change is also an economic problem. Climate change is also a social problem. And the solutions that we put into it has to come from all the different areas. Why? When we talk about solutions to climate change, we cannot only rely on the science side. So hindi pwedeng ang solution can only come from environmental scientists. No. Translating that into solutions, the science into solutions would require technologists and environmental engineers. But even the solutions themselves must be looked at in terms of an economic aspect. And I'm reminded about the current problem that has been happening for the past 2 days, I think. No? The rally against the PUV Modernization Act. So the PUV Modernization Act was done, among other things, to ensure that the emissions are cleaner. Okay? The emissions are cleaner. But that solution of modernizing, it has an economic impact. So anong nangyayari ngayon? Mga tao ngayon, ayaw na nila ng ayaw ng modernization. So there's a rally against the PUV Modernization Act. I don't know if they still want pollutive emissions, but I think it's more of the economic impact of the Modernization Act. So we cannot isolate the economics and the social aspect of it. The social aspect of that would mean a loss of income for those who cannot afford to join the modernization. And so every solution that we put forward must be based on the considerations of many different areas. That's what I mean by interconnectedness of everything. Another thing that I want to emphasize is now talking about innovation. So we're not talking about research. And you know that when it comes to research, all of you must contribute to it. Okay? DESE. All of us have a role in addressing sustainability problems. Okay, that's research. Now we'll talk about innovation as a catalyst for sustainability. Innovation, we normally associate it with products, right? Innovative product, usually. So we normally think of innovation in terms of new technologies. But when you come to think of it, a new technology cannot come along unless we have a change in mindset. Therefore, when we talk about innovation, we are talking about a new way of thinking. We're talking about new processes, we're talking about new models of operation. At its heart, we don't accept status quo. We always think there's got to be a better way. And that is why we need to find innovation into what are currently available. Okay. Now, I would just like to ask if we normally think of innovation in this way. Okay. Innovation is developing what is already available. No? Okay, so let me just ask you here. Let me ask a question. Can you think of a product that will happen if you have a car but you remove the driver. What do you think will happen if you have a car that brings you from point A to point B, but you remove the driver? Is that possible or not? Possible? Is it already in other countries? Yes, that's already true. Pero hindi pwedeng hindi mo ba perspective mo? Because if you always think that cars should be driven by drivers, able to, you will never be able to invent a driverless car, which is now being used to what? Not only bring people from one point to another, but usually um, deliver goods, which is not being Amazon millions of dollars. So when we talk about innovation, new ways of doing things. Okay? What about a car if you remove the wheels? What do you think will happen? Okay, but that sounds so futuristic, no? That flying cars. But what do you think? Yesterday, I was brought from the airport of Rojas coming here. Medyo matatag yung certain parts ng daan. Matatag, syempre, because the car runs on the road. Then may gulong. But what if walang gulong? No? So, I don't know, maybe it's a flying car. But that can happen. Now, it might not be a flying car, but the concept can be used. Mga drones na yun. And drones not only bring us, now in the Ukraine war, it brings bombs. So, hindi na uso ang warfare ngayon na talagang tao ang pupunta doon. They just deploy hundreds of drones. And that's the face of modern warfare. Okay. Therefore, if you want innovative solutions, hindi talaga pwedeng yung current status lang. You have to change the way of thinking, and you must be unafraid to think of new things. Dream big, achieve big things. Okay? Achieve anything also. Okay. I have a challenge. What is it that you don't like with your cell phone now? Me, I don't like typing. Right? The keyboards are so small. And then usually nagkakamali. And then nag-go autocorrect pa. Kaya minsan, nasiset mo na yung message. Okay? So, maybe, what about a cell phone without keyboard? Or keypads? A voice na. Voice. Don't you think that's more convenient? Okay, if you think, then maybe that is going to be something that you should be working on, a research or some innovation. Okay? Ano yan? Alright. Alright. Okay, so in the context of sustainability, innovation is about creating solutions that are not only effective but also equitable and future. Okay? Remember that? Now, I'm sure na fresh na fresh pa sa ating dalawang goals ni Carlos Lulo, right? Yesterday, I was coming here. Actually, we had an ocular visit at PICC yesterday morning. And while we were there, Carlos Lulo, because it was supposed to start after lunch. No? And I was thinking, saan ba number one ang Pilipinas? Number one na ba tayo sa gymnastics? Naisip ko. Number one daw sa corruption? Wag naman. Hindi number one in corruption. But there is one number one though that's true. The per capita plastic polluters of the ocean. Did you know that? Per capita, per person, we dispose 3.3 kilograms of plastic into the ocean. Can you imagine 3.3 kilograms of plastic per person? That is a lot of plastic. That is why our pollution goes internationally, it goes everywhere, carried by the waves. Okay? So we are number one there. Okay. However, have you realized that? Do you think there is a solution that you can think of? But that's very true. That's one thing. You know, I had a student. I challenged him. I said, okay, what I want you to do is incorporate waste plastic into concrete. And so that went to Navaliches, he got his plastic waste from the back of the monitor. No? These are being like churned into small pieces and they export to China. So obviously these waste materials, these e-waste, they are being exported to China. Of course, that's one solution. No? Plastic waste, that's one solution. Okay, but you know, whenever we come up with a solution to this problem of plastic waste into the ocean, we cannot remove the fact that it will require what we would call a social innovation. So the innovation, but the innovation must also be social innovation. Why? Because when we come up with solutions for this one, we have to wean people away from the addiction of plastic. Because come to think of it, we are addicted to plastic. Just look at the tables before you. Oh, what do you say? Ayan, pagkain kailangan naka-plastic. Hindi pwedeng ganyan lang, wala namang langaw dito. Hindi kailangan naka-plastic. Drinks natin, kailangan plastic. Why? Because we want it to be convenient. Everything has to be so convenient for us. Everything plastic is always a solution to everything. But if we decide on removing plastics from our lives, starting to remove it, like packaging, this is going to require that we change behaviors. We have to change our behaviors. We have to change our practices. And that is why innovations are also social innovations. Because we are talking about changing lifestyle. If I were given the superpower to change things, I will require the dental shampoos to actually have dispensers and put it in all sari-sari. Para lahat ng mga tao, wala ka ng shampoo sa bahay, just bring your shampoo container, tapos bibili ka lang doon, ipapump lang, and that's it. Basta available na brands in all sari-sari stores. Bibili ka pa ba ng sachet? Hindi na. Tapos you can buy shampoo 5 pesos. Okay? Although alam ko naman, mga taga dito, hindi naman bibili naman. You're going to buy big, large amounts of shampoo. Enough for you to reduce your amount of waste plastic per person. But that will a change in behavior of people. Okay? But nevertheless, if one of you can go into that research, I'll be very happy. The potential of having that kind of model, that can be a business research, acceptability of that particular model. Okay? So for those of you in the business here, sino ba nasa business dito? Well, that's a challenge for you. Huh? Wala bang taga, B dito? B? Out of the best? The B in best. Alright. Just come to think of it. If we can solve that problem for an innovative solution, there'll be less flooding in the Philippines, and we will all be so much happier wherever we are. Fortunately, there are already actions in this particular area. Some examples of this one are, like, number one, the model of circular economy, which is transforming the way companies are able to reuse, recycle, and remanufacture their products. IKEA, for example, is now selling a lot of products that are not only durable, but are also repairable and recyclable. So you don't need to throw away once you don't like it anymore, or once it's broken. You can repair it. You can recycle it. Now, this is particularly important because in the current scheme of things now, I do not know if all of you are familiar with the phrase planned obsolescence. Are you familiar with that? How many of you are not familiar with this phrase? Planned obsolescence. Not familiar. Raise your hands. Okay. This is the strategy where digital things have a shelf life. So cell phones are not really meant to last forever. There is planned obsolescence. There is a part of your cell phone or part of any gadget na after 2 years or after 3 years or what, or ano yung plan, it just comes off and then you have to replace the whole thing. Kasi kung wala naman talaga yan, baka wala nang gagawang company ng bagong bagay. So that's fine, no? But with planned obsolescence in place, that's okay. As the circular economy model is being factored into its own design. Because even if your cell phone get broken after a few years, then the components of the cell phone can still be recycled and reused. In fact, naalala ko yung the gold, the gold, the gold medals of the Olympics, of the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, contains gold that is mined from electronic waste. So kasama ang mga gold na nakukuha from waste, electrical, and electronic equipment. Another model for sustainable innovation is education. Yung gamit natin ng e-learning platforms. When we use e-learning platforms, it makes education more accessible and all. Bakit? Because if classes are met online, because you have the learning management system, those can then not really focus on putting up facilities anymore. You don't need to put up school buildings. You don't need to use up your land. Why? Because learning can be done virtually. But I do not know if that is something that's ideal for most people. What do you think? Ideal or not ideal? Educators. Siyempre, pag teachers tinanong mo, gusto ko online na para kahit nasa bahay lang ako, I can go to classes. I don't need to go to school. But are our administrators open to that? So that's another thing to discuss about. Okay, and another sustainable innovation model is AI-driven research, which is now used in almost all fields, including energy transformation. I have had some students who are doing research on optimization of electrical loading. So these are now being used. AI is now used to make sure that there is optimization in whatever we do. And with optimized processes, we reduce waste and we increase our yields. However, don't think that innovation is going to come easy. There are, of course, natural barriers to innovation. What are these barriers? What are these barriers to innovation? Politics, corruption. But the first one would be resistance to change. Yung gusto lang natin kung ano lang nandyan, ayaw na natin mag-exert ang brain cells. We just accept what's there. We resist change. Of course, related to that would be financial problems. And of course, the third one is the fear of failure. Now, this fear of failure must be something that we should be all overcoming. we need to foster in the sciences. There is a lot of emphasis on success, but in the sciences, we should always remember that even failures are points of learning. I'm reminded about the research my lab mate before in Houston was doing, and we made our own graphene oxide material, and our advisor already knows the pattern that should happen. So my labmate should make the graphene oxide for 1 week, then do experiment the next week, failure. She would redo everything again, failure. You know what? It turns out that she was doing everything correctly, but she was using the wrong raw material. So there was one raw material that she got from a supplier, which was actually not correct. So based on that, she found out that the behavior of the system is dependent also on the raw materials. So even a failure can be a success. Just don't be afraid to commit failures. Tayo kasi we are a society where everything has to be perfect all the time. Unfortunately, life is not that way. Okay? So, at this point, allow me now to talk about an elephant in the room. Okay? An elephant in the room. And this elephant in the room has two letters. It's called AI. Okay? As researchers and as innovators, we have to confront artificial intelligence. Is it something that we should embrace? Or is it something that we should not embrace? Especially generative AI. Okay? But let's discuss generative AI in a little bit. But generally, AI should be seen as a tool for accelerating research. Accelerating research. Therefore, we should not be afraid to use artificial intelligence because it is one of the most powerful tools in our arsenal. With AI, we can process vast amounts of data. Otherwise, not feasible for humans. But with AI, we can do that now. With AI, we can identify patterns, which we normally would not be able to do. And with AI, we are able to generate insights that would be impossible for humans to achieve alone. So what has AI done for us? AI, okay, in many areas, medicine. AI is now seen as a viable alternative to doctors. Because sometimes they give even more precise diagnosis. Can you imagine if I am a doctor, which I am, but I'm not a medical doctor, but if I'm a medical doctor, if I'm a medical doctor, I will look at the patient based on what I know. Yung alam ko lang. But if you use AI, it is the collective knowledge of all areas of medicine in the whole world. How can I possibly compete with that? So there will be many things that I will miss, but AI will not be able to do that. And therefore, in medicine, we now have AI that analyzes medical images. We have AI that predicts patient outcomes. And we have AI that develops personalized treatment plans, not otherwise available for humans. In chemistry, AI is increasingly used now to produce new medicine, cutting the development of new medicines by decades even. So it's now so much easier for them to come up with new medications just because they can use AI. In social sciences, saan ginagamit ng AI? Social sciences. Where do we use AI now? Well, we can use AI to get sentiment analysis. If you want to know whether your services are good, use AI. Use sentiment analysis for that. And I've had a lot of students who do research on sentiment analysis. So now, some schools are looking at the Facebook pages in order to determine whether the services that the school offers are positively received by the students or negatively received by the students. Hindi ka lang nagtatanong sa estudyante, oy, kumusta naman? Gusto mo ba yung service? Not anymore. Okay? Because mostly the students will tell you the wrong thing. Kasi nahihiya, baka matakot kayo. But if you can use AI to scrutinize social media, then you can get trends and predict social behavior. Other areas, no? AI in education. We are now using AI to personalize our lessons. And we are able to do that. Personalized mentoring. Even checking of our assessments. How many of you use AI in checking assessments? How many of you do that? Wala pa? But if you want to simplify your life, learn that. Huh? Because AI can do that. In business, AI can now analyze market trends. It can optimize logistics and supply chain management. It can optimize path planning. And in the case of our student here, si Dr. Villaluz, it can in fact predict the stock market prices if you make use of it. Okay? So there are many things that can be done in this particular area. I would just like to share with you, one project of my student taking Doctor of Engineering. And this project is about balut. Balut. We all eat balut, right? So what the student did was, he connected with Itik Pilipinas, and he tried to understand if there are problems that they are facing. So it turns out that there's a problem that they're facing because they need to incubate the Itik Pilipinas. They want to grow as much itik, but not a lot of itik is being produced because some of it they use for balut. Okay? But what they want pala is to only hatch females. Hatch female itik. Because you don't want a lot of male itik because there's a ratio. Parang, I think, 10 babae, isa lang ang lalaki. So they actually don't want to grow and fetch a lot of male itik. So that's what they want to do, no? Ang problema, because they have ngayon, bago itik. I think, why? It's difficult. So ang ginawa niya, to predict the sex of that itik. So, gumawa siya ng system that is now able to predict at more than 90% accuracy the sex of the itik if it's going to be hatched. Di ba, wow? Because if they hatch all the itik and then after hatching, they will say, ay, ito yung babae, ito yung lalaki. Ito gagawin sa lalaki. Gawin natin quick. You know the one they old, the one that they fry? But now, pwede na pala magkaroon ng system na gano'n. And so for the growers, they will have a reduction in the electricity, manpower, because they will only be hatching the kind of itik that they actually want, not the itik that they don't want. So most likely, if that becomes adopted nationally, most of the itik that you'll be eating will all be males, which is what they want. No? Kawawa naman yung mga lalaking itik pa. Pinakain lang natin. No? Okay, so that's the kind of innovation that we can do with the use of artificial intelligence. So far, we talked about sustainability, the role of research, the role of innovation, and then we have already brought into the picture the role of artificial intelligence. Now let's bring it to where it matters most for most of us. Because research, innovation, application of AI, in our context, they all happen inside our schools. Tama? Eh, kasi nandun tayo eh. That's where we do everything. Ang buhay natin are in schools. Therefore, higher education institutions have a very big role to play in this particular area. Number one, our HEIs are centers of knowledge. Therefore, it is inherent in them to have the responsibility of leading the way of generating the knowledge that will address the global challenges. There are two things here. HEIs must conduct research to advance knowledge. But at the same time, HEIs must also foster a culture that values curiosity, values critical thinking, and values a commitment to social and environmental responsibility. So, in schools, we are not only expected to conduct research, but more importantly, we are there to change the minds of people. But how many of us really do that? How many of us welcome critical thinking among our students? Yung mga nagtatanong na mga estudyante, how many of us welcome that in class? But that should be the kind of attitude that we should be encouraging. The thinking mind, the inquisitive mind, but of course we should be able to channel it so that the inquisitiveness is in the area of positive naman ng impact. So again, fostering a culture that values curiosity, critical thinking, and a commitment to social and environmental responsibility. Talking about responsibility, it saddens me that there are many things that we can do which we are not actually doing. Kanina, first time ko narinig yung bagong Pilipinas, Hima. I was actually hoping, I hope that with the rollout of that hymn, we can also roll out teaching our students the different ways of doing things. No? Like example, kung sana maturuan natin mga estudyante to clean go. Clean as you go. Sana. I was shocked when I went to Taiwan. Last March, I went to Taiwan and I ate in a restaurant. After eating, you have to get your plate. You have to bring it to the back of the restaurant. You have to separate the leftover food. You have to put it in somewhere, and then the plate, you have to put it here, the utensils, you have to put it on another side. And then that's the time you can go out of the restaurant. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na kailangan ng tagalinis. You don't need servers anymore. Responsibility natin to actually clean as we go. However, kaya gawin yan sa Pilipinas? Hindi kaya magagalit sa iyo ang mga mayayaman? Pag pinalinis mo sila? Diba? Sabihin na, sa bahay nga, may tagalit. Kaya ito ginagawa ng mga sir. Changing the attitude that we need to do. That we should make people understand that this is not an economic issue, but this is a sustainability issue. Okay? So play go. Another thing, if you go to Europe, you buy, the cashier will simply just scan your items. No one will put it in a bag for you. In fact, they don't provide bags for you. You have to bring your own bag. If you don't bring your own bag, you have to buy the bag, which is expensive. So talaga mga tao doon, nakita mo talaga, nagdadala talaga ng plastic. Yung plastic natin, talagang lukot-lukot na. Because it has been used over and over and over again. Now, do you think we can do that here in the Philippines? Kaya minsan si Madam na siya ang maglagay ng pinabili niya sa sarili niyang bag na hindi siya naiinsulto? Okay. Again, we should not be talking about these things in terms of economic terms, but in terms of sustainability. Because we need to make people understand that by recycling, we are making a positive difference in the world. Hindi ito pagpaparusa sa iyo. This is not a punishment to you. But this is asking you to do your role in ensuring that whatever we are benefiting right now, our future generations will still be able to benefit also from. Okay? Did I make that point clear here? All right, thank you so much. Okay, so in schools, we need to make sure that yung fostering natin kanina, okay, we are able to do that. There are certain strategies to do that. Number one, of course, is to encourage student engagement. No? So as much as possible, let's involve our students. We can involve our students in doing research by ensuring that our curricula are also research driven. Now, that's a power that you actually have. Because in school, you can dictate what the students do in class. Right? Kahit ano pang subject yan, kahit anong course yan, you have the power to do that. So, let us try to take a look at our curricula, our syllabus, on whether we are encouraging our students to actually be engaged in research. Let's also try to ask our students to do interdisciplinary projects. It's a good thing at TIP now. I know that there are certain different engineering disciplines that will allow students to form groups made of different courses, programs, just to encourage interdisciplinary research. All right, so, and then lastly, make sure that your students are engaged with real world scenarios. So, for capstone projects or maybe for some projects, ask them to go to industry. Let them talk to industry and ask them what are the current things that you need to be that need to be addressed. So that we can also work towards this area. By ensuring that we are engaging our students, we are inspiring the next generation of innovators. In the school, of course, you need to secure funding. Now, I know funding is a very big issue for most people because sometimes we think that the only source of funding are our own institutions. Tama ba? Oh, I'd like to ask our president here, no? That some of our faculty members might think that the funding for the research must only come from the university. The fact is, hindi dapat. Because there are many different areas where our faculty can get funding. Oh, nandiyan yung UST, nandiyan yung SHED, okay? And in fact, there are many companies that are willing to fund researches as long as you can show a good cost-benefit analysis to them. All right. At the same time, we need to make sure that our schools are able to create the supportive infrastructure, like laboratories, labs, technologies. But beyond that, when graduate na tayo doon sa low-level researches, maybe we can already think about applying those research outputs and coming up with maybe technological hubs, mga research centers, incubators, innovator labs, innovator hubs, which are going to have an even bigger impact to the society that we currently see. There is a model for this one which I want to share with you. I actually got to observe this one up close and personal. When in 2016 I went to the US, I had a visit to the Rutgers University, and we were able to visit several of their research hubs. So one of the research hubs that they had is a food and innovation center. Alam mo sabi lang nila doon, If you have a recipe at home that you want to turn into a business, come to us. We'll make it true for you. So the university provides the expertise to turn recipes into commercializable products. And then the business part of the university comes in and helps the locator put up their own business. And then after 2 years, they'll graduate na. Pag graduate na, fully fledged, a full-fledged company already when they go out into the market. So very good. They also had a facility where they had, I think, siguro if I may estimate it, mga 20 basketball sizes na hydroponic facility. So if there are locators, punta kayo dito, we will teach you. You have the expertise. We teach you how to do hydroponic. And then after that, when you're already confident, you can go out, put up your own facility. So these can be things that we can take a look at. No? In fact, many of you might want to make a project out of these things. No? Research and innovation should be seen as our legacy to the next generations. I'll circle back to the definition of sustainability, which is meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to also meet their own needs. Now, in order for this to be true, research and innovation need to be done. When? Not in the future. They need to be done now. Why? Because the results of our research we do now will take years and years to bear fruit. Pumunta kami sa last month, we went to for another benchmarking to University of Tsukuba in Japan. The Cybernic Center has been doing what it does for the past 30 years. And for the past 30 years, isa lang ang pwede lang na commercialize. That is how long it takes for technologies to mature. So if you do things today, do not think that by next week, next month, next year, okay? Research has to be done incrementally because innovation is also incremental in nature. Always remember that as educators and researchers, we have the power to influence the direction of society by whatever we do today. And whatever we do today, that is our lasting legacy. Okay? So I encourage each one of you to think about the legacy that you want to leave. Because the work we do today has the potential to create a better world for our children of tomorrow. Okay? So let us go forth and make a difference through research, through innovation, and through our unwavering for sustainable future. Do I have your yes on that? Thank you so much and congratulations.
Let's do research and innovation now. It is also the first time to witness a resource speaker that shared a presentation without a tool or a technology, right? Indeed, we have heard the best, we have chosen the best, and we have experienced the best here at the first National Conference Fest 2024. Shall we give a big round of applause to our resource speaker this afternoon? And before we proceed to the next part of our program, I would like also to invite everyone to share their key takeaways, what you have learned in our presentation, especially during the keynote speaker of our resource person, because it is also an advantage to me as a host, as a master of ceremony, because you need to listen attentively so that you can have to share something, especially my key takeaway. So if this conference is the best, my key takeaway is the beast. You know what's the beast? I'll share to you my key takeaways. But the beast, sir, not the best. The beast, of course, I've learned to dream big. big. We should dream big in order for us to achieve great things in life, especially that we are educators. E, I've learned also to educate. Educate as members of the academic community through sharing, through disseminating our research outputs. So through this conference, we can educate not only our colleagues, but of course, we can bring back that in our classroom later on. The A in the B is accelerating research and innovation. Of course, through AI. Through AI, everything, innovation becomes easier and faster, right? And as what Sir mentioned a while ago, the bulk of knowledge is being secured when you are using AI efficiently and effectively. S, of course, sustainable, the meat of the discussion of our keynote speaker. We cannot deplete resources now. What will happen to our sons and daughters in the future if we don't know how to make use of what is in our hands right now? And T, for the beast. And of course, we need to have this technology-based innovation, technology-based revolution, so we can have contribute to the body of knowledge, create the body of knowledge, influence policy, and of course, drive innovations. Not only for ourselves, not only for our future students maybe to the future, but of course to each and everyone who are living in this one planet. So we can have a sustainability in everything that we are doing. So thank you so much, sir. With that, I am very thankful for your talk. I have learned so much from you, the beast, from the best. Thank you so much, sir. May I have a key takeaway from our dear audience now? Shall we have the microphone so that we can hear also insights, or you can ask questions to our resource or to our keynote speaker before we proceed to the next part of our program? Anyone? Clarifications, questions, or any key takeaways also coming from or lessons learned from our keynote speaker? From this table, I think this is from NISU Batad Campus. We have sir. I know sir is taking videos, no?
Good afternoon.
So we can, sir, can you introduce yourself? And
I'm Gilbert Piñas from Minnesota. Thank you very much, sir. I have a lot of learning from you. My goodness. I haven't even have my two eyes closed. And in fact, napuno ang aking phone sa kaka-video sa'yo. This is the first time na nakarinig ako ng isang sinabi. Yung boredom ko hindi pumasok sa katauhan ko. Maraming salamat.
thank you so much, Professor, from NISU Batad Campus. May I know here from this table, I guess from NISU Ahui Campus. This is on the spot, giving of takeaway. So, maganda kayo ibang campus dyan.
Yung company naman
Can you censor and introduce yourself? And it's a one life chance, no?
Good afternoon to each and everyone. I'm surprised, sir. Okay. Anyway, sir, thank you so much for that brilliant sharing of knowledge. One thing that I've learned from you, sir, from your talk is don't afraid to fail. Because from failing, you got to learn a lot of things. And of course, as an educator, we have to become mindful and we have to enhance our skills and educate the needed tools that we need to ourselves in order for us to become effective and efficient educators. Of course, you have to delve into research and extension activities. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir, from NISU Batad Campus. If you have questions, do not. NISU Aboy Campus, sorry, instead corrected. Here we have from NISU main campus from the College of Education. We have Dr. Rizomina Sugerio. If you have a question, ma'am, you are.
Alright, good afternoon. Um, Actually, it was Dr. Alimar Kadima who told me to ask questions, but I was actually trying to give a message to him because the one thing that I remembered with your speech, sir, is the statement we have to start removing plastics in our lives. Okay, literally, and you know what I mean. Okay. Yes, in as much as we want to effectively engage our students in sustainable management strategies, sometimes we fail to continuously remind them of sustainable practices, particularly related to the environment. And so we see a lot of garbage, trash everywhere. And so I think we really need to be, you know, to exercise more to engage our students in this effective management strategies in relation to sustainability. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Rizomina. The question is, according to how to remove plastics in life. Sige, we have here from sir from your Kinabon, ma'am. Any takeaways, or if you have a question, you are free to ask question.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is very random. Actually, I'm I'm not an environmentalist, but I eventually, as time goes by, I realized that being sustainable is should be a part of our lives, no? And sir, you made us realize that we should take care of our Mother Nature by nurturing it, by removing plastics in our life, eventually recycling them. There are plastics that cannot be recycled, if you get what I mean. No? But the key takeaway that I learned is that in all aspects, whether it be in education or in our lives, we should always have sustainability. So that will be all for me. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am, from NISO Sara Campus, Victorino Salcedo Sara Campus. And of course, meron pa rin tayo ditong isang campus from NISU Concepcion Campus. Ay, wala pa marota. Last gali ang marota. Anyone? We have Dr. Christine.
Hello everyone, good afternoon from the College of Fisheries and Allied Sciences, Concepcion Campus. So one takeaway ko na nakuha ko is that to integrate AI and research. So sa fisheries, marami ho kaming AIs na ginagamit. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you so much from the College of Fisheries and Allied Sciences. Of course, magpapatalo ba the NISU Manotang Red Demo Campus? You have no choice, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I thought pumatay na kami nito. But I just gave my key takeaways. What I have learned from Sir's message is that how environment relates, or how environment and our technology relate to one another. So we need both so that we could be able to achieve sustainability. That's all.
Okay, so there should be hand in hand, both technology and our environment. I think our presenters today, this afternoon session is safe because they have still oral presentations and the will be reserved for that for them at that time. Okay, so sir, I guess no questions asked for you this afternoon because you have not only delivered the speech, efficiently, but of course you have you make a thought-provoking um, ideas. You made you made them think of what's going to be the best among themselves. All right, so with that, we have a question here from one of our presenters, I think. Sige, ma'am.
Good afternoon. I am Caroline Salazar and I am from Aklan State University, Banga Campus. Sir, I am interested about the plan obsolescence. Plan obsolescence. So do you think, sir, it's not unlawful to have that kind of strategy? Parang manadaya tayo, di ba, sir? So I think it's unlawful.
I don't want to go into that realm of whether it is lawful or unlawful, but I think it might also be related to limitations in our technology. For example, when we talk about battery technologies for cell phones, I do not think that we are yet at that point where we have batteries that last forever. So there is bound to be only a certain number of charging, discharging cycles that batteries can effectively operate. After a few cycles, after so many cycles, talagang mag-depreciate na ang performance niya. To the point that over time, because it's going to take like maybe 3 years to achieve that number, then you will need to replace batteries. So it might be related more to technological limitations also.
How about, sir, in the case of a printer, for example? Printers. Di ba meron tayong, pag nasa hit na yung number of prints, magiging obsolete na rin yung, or magiging unserviceable na yung printer.
Yeah. Again, that might also be related to technology because I'm not sure. I'm not a designer.
Parang pinadali talaga tayo, sir. Bibili tayo ng 10,000 worth of printers. Tapos, after, let's say, marami talaga tayong piniprint. So, in just 3 months, wala na siya. So, it's supposed to be, when we say sustainability, dapat, or eco-friendly dapat tayo, dapat wala ng obsolete sa mga printers na yan.
Yeah, that's true. But also look at it from the point of view of the manufacturers. No? Baka naman ang Apple, hindi na mag-innovate kasi nabili mo ngayon in 2014, baka 10 years bago mo palitan. So,
Kaya nga, sir, parang unlawful siya, parang ano siya sa atin na part. Kasi you have to conserve the resources, and yet we are, having this strategy in our, gadgets or technology. So I think it's not right.
but there are many things in life that are unfair. But even printers now, there are already I think there's at least one company that is now doing subscription based. So you don't technically own the printer, yes. Parang ganun lang. Kasi dati, di ba, even Windows, no? Even, Microsoft, yeah, our Word and Excel, dati you can buy isang license and then forever. But now, it's subscription based now. So they have to earn from you every year. So talking about, I don't know if it's more fair or it's more unfair. But they will just tell you it needs to be this way because we need to update it regularly. We cannot update it if you don't buy from us. Subscribe. So, you know. But nevertheless, let's not make it deal breakers.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Another question here.
Good afternoon. I'm Maria Esther Excelsis Acevedo Johnson. I'm again from Aklan State University. And I was moved by your statement about how to change the mindset of people when it comes to something like Lego. Um, it's not easy to change the behavior and set ways of people. So how would you influence people so that they make a positive change and make a more sustainable behavior so that the future generation can still enjoy the some resources that we have right now?
So most of the time, we just tell our students to do this and do that without really modeling it. I think if we are perfect models for responsible actions, then it's much easier to convince them to also follow up. So if you teach your students to do one thing, make sure that you follow it yourself. So for me, yan yung ano. Kasi hindi naman mahirap yun. Like, people go to our institution now, yeah, they go in the canteen. And everyone does it. Wala naman nag-iiwan talaga ng pagkain or pinagkainan. So it's just a matter of making it a culture of your institution for example. And making sure that the leaders are also the ones who are doing it. So when other people look at you, they will follow. So that's one. See, Dr. Emil here wants to say something, no, about the financial lessons.
Just an addition, just like sa cellphone, no? So it's a marketing strategy that when they, sabi lang nila, sa manufacturing ng cellphone, there are two teams sa marketing. The one who will introduce the new version, the other team will make the new model obsolete right away. For example, iPhone 15 Pro Max, pag-release niyan, may leak version ng iPhone 16 right away. So that is one of the marketing strategy also. It's because as a social being, we as a person, gusto natin medyo new version tayo palagi, especially sa mga tech na mga person. So that is also one of the marketing strategy, especially sa mga gadgets. No? So dalawang team yan. The one team is working on the new version and the other team will work the new version obsolete right away upon release. Para na, you will be anticipating na naman the new version para pag labas niya, magpipila ka na dun sa iStore kung tumahay the new version. So sir, nakita yan eh. I think, pagkapas ng bagong phone, pumila yan sa ano eh. sa pila. Sa pila. So that's correct. No? So just an additional thoughts plan of
Plan obsolescence. Obsolescence. Dr. Amir is obsolescence. So Dr. Amir is saying that I should not anymore be happy with my iPhone 14. Kasi daw may kaming iPhone 16. iPhone 16. And in fact, I was thinking about, ano bang pangit sa cellphone ko? Hindi na ako magpalit ng cellphone. That's correct. But not really. Some of it is marketing, but some of it really is technological limitations.
All right, some more questions? Okay, there's a question there at the back. Sige, sir. Please state your name.
Good afternoon, sir. So I'm Ryan from NISU campus. So thank you so much for all the insights that you've shared to us. So we've learned a lot from that. And you tackled earlier about AI, right? And I know for a fact that technology is really a big help to all of us. I would like to ask, what is your stand on the AI-generated applications that the students now are using? For me, since I am now teaching research and hospitality industry, so some of the work of my students are AI generated. So I don't usually promote that since it promotes laziness to the students and it prevent them from thinking creatively. So, what is your stand on this problem that we are actually facing as teachers? Thank you.
Certainly. Here is an answer to that question. Okay. You basically know that's AI generated already, pagkasisimula na certainly. Okay. So, see, as AI to do this one, certainly. Okay. Yeah, it's AI generated already. Okay. So here's the thing. Um, we've been looking at some institutions to try to see if they have AI policies. And it turns out that many institutions do not yet have AI policies. Primarily because AI, when you come to think of it, it's in generative AI, not AI per se. Because AI has been in existence for quite some time. Although not the type of AI that's based on the large language models. No, but neural networks, matagal na yan. That's part of it. No, but when you come to think about generative AI, this is something new. And it is evolving so fast that parang hindi pa kayang magbigay ka agad ng definitive guidelines sa mga schools. But nevertheless, this is something that institutions should be wary about. The way I look at it, personally, the way I look at it, parang kung dati, you can create a speech by hiring a ghostwriter. Now you can create a speech by just letting ChatGPT do it for you. In any case, it was not human made. It got enough submit, but those are other words. But having said that, I believe that we should embrace the power that generative AI can give us. Personally, I will use generative AI to provide a scaffolding for thoughts, scaffolding for any discussion. But I will be the one to personally fill in the data. So it can provide me the outline, it can provide me the scaffold for that thought, but I will have to personalize it. The problem, I think, rises from the fact that when it comes to the use of generative AI, our schools do not really provide any guidelines to our students. Have you made it clear at the start of your classes that you will not tolerate the use of AI, generative AI? Because if you have said it to them and yet they insist on doing it, then you can call their attention. But if you did not make it very clear at the outset, then some people might think it's okay. You see, our students are as much embracers of technological advancements. These are technological advancements. Yung large generative AI, produkto yan ng research. So if we encourage research, we cannot be selective and say, but not that kind of research. That's a natural evolution of things. We are reaching a stage where AI is going to permeate across everything that we do. In fact, the research of Dr. Emil here says that everything that is being fed to you is brought about by your past behavior. Whether Facebook pushes certain videos to you, that's because Facebook knows that those are the kinds of things that you want to watch. Kung kaya, pag ang pumapasok sa feed mo, puro credit card, alam mo alam na nila na you're the type of person who's a very good shopper. No? Hindi pala katang, ha? But you're a shopper. So something like that. Okay, but I think you have to make it clear to your students the boundaries that you will set for them to use it. It is going to be a futile exercise to not let them use AI. Sa tingin ko lang, it's a useless exercise to really stop them from doing it. Because why are you stopping them from using AI? malamang pagtapos niya ng trabaho, their industry will require the use of generative AI. That is why in some schools, we talk to some schools in Japan, also talk to some schools in the US. Their stand is this: whether you allow generative AI in the class should be left to the department. Because there are certain departments where the use of generative AI should be encouraged. Why? Because when your graduates go into the workplace, generative AI is used extensively. So sa mga business sector, for example, gamit pala niya sa marketing. So you have to teach your students how to make use of generative AI. So that when they go to the workplace, they have an edge. But if your students are in the area of languages, where they have to be creative, yung create poetry, no? Yung ganun mga areas, you cannot let AI do that for you. So definitely in that particular area, no. Okay? But there are some putting praise, there are some that should not use it, but there are also some that will allow some moderate usage of generative. But in any case, don't use it exclusively for writing research, please. Kasi if you subscribe, and a lot of publishing companies subscribe to Turnitin Premium, makikita talaga doon yung mga phrases, mga paragraphs that were generated by AI. And there will also be phrases that will also be colored that will show, paraphrase, generative AI output, paraphrased by generative AI tools. So wala kang gusto. And if you submit these things, definitely, may reject the paper. So, only use it as a scaffold. Allow it to create your structure, pero ikaw na gusto magsulat. Para sa akin, that's the best way to engage. Because also remember that AI is very prone to hallucination. So AI can give you a lot of garbage. It will tell you books that actually don't exist. It will give you quotes that are actually not quotes from people who said it. So be careful, and we should teach our students these things. Now, you should be able to distinguish. You should, even if you use generative AI, the responsibility is still with you to ensure that the content is correct. So, probably that's my way of, I don't know, that's the guidance for everyone. Somehow, a question lang. Have you already talked within your departments on how you approach generative AI? Because it would be nice if you can start this conversation within your departments. Para at least, alam ng mga estudyante na, ano yan, ayaw talaga nila yan. Hindi alam nila lahat. Ayaw talaga. So again, set expectations, but ensure that you provide guidance to the students. And then for everyone, please start the conversations within your groups. Probably when you go back to your own universities. Kasi maganda pag-usapan ito. Most likely, hindi lang naman kasi ikaw ang napapasahan ng generative AI output. Lahat kayo. But the problem is, if the teachers do not know how to discern. Kasi hindi nila alam na output na pala yan ng ChatGPT. Kasi hindi niya alam ano ang ChatGPT. Ayan yung mahirap. So, teach each other ano yung mga tools. Kasi maganda niyo generative AI, I gave a talk sa PAC. And I showed the thousands on the things that they can do. So, I presented to them a tool that they can use to generate images. Because when you create stories in class, and you don't subscribe to like Canva, you cannot get images for free. Get images from the web, which might not be the ones that you are going to be meeting. So I showed them, okay, create a picture of a tarsier, because it was held in Bohol. If a tarsier reading a book using candlelight, the tarsier is sitting on a table and the bright moon is shining. And so you can help us. So if I'm going to tell a story, if I'm a teacher and I need to tell a story about a tarsier reading a book under the moonlight like candlelight, then that will be the most appropriate picture. And then another thing that I told them is a refresher for me to, oh, no, abstract sa bagay lang, ganyan. And so I said, you can make it in fact even more lively. Let's create music to that. And so I showed them an application na gumawa pa siya ng music, original music, with the lyrics. And then you can change it, make a reggae music. So my reggae is ano, so why did it know it? So there are many generative AI tools that are going to be positively used in the classroom. But I think for us as instructors, the only thing that really concerns us so much when it comes to integrity is really AI generated content from our students. Okay? So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope we have answered your questions, sir. So we need to be cautious, especially in using generative AI. And our students are more intelligent than us. All right, so with that, our resource speaker deserve the certificate of appreciation. We would like to request Dr. Ramil Lamawa, Dr. Jeffrey Garin. Also, we have Professor Roger S. Michon in assisting and giving of this certificate of appreciation. Also, we would like to request Dr. Azen Balutong to assist in giving the certificate of appreciation. Certificate of appreciation is given to Dr. Roji P. Medina, Dean, Graduate Programs, Technological Institute of the Philippines, Quezon City, Philippines, for sharing his valuable knowledge on research and innovation for a sustainable future as a keynote speaker during the National Conference on Business, Education, Social Sciences, and Technology, BEST 2024, with the theme Synergizing Innovation for a Sustainable Future, integrating business, education, social sciences, and technology towards the SDGs. Given this 15th day of August 2024 at Northern Iloilo State University, Estancia Iloilo. Signed, Professor Arnelin M. Torres, President, ITCC. Signed, Dr. Bobby D. Hernando, University President, Northern Iloilo State University, and Chair of BEST 2024. So we give a big round of applause to our keynote speaker, Dr. Roji P. Medina. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence, for your expertise and experience shared in the first national conference in BEST 2024. At this point of time, we regret to inform everyone that our second speaker, resource speaker, Dr. Yakul C. Alvarez, our the regional director, will be unable to attend the event as previously scheduled. He has experienced a family emergency and needs to be with his loved ones. We offer our deepest sympathy during this time of loss and understand his absence is unavoidable. At this point of time, to read the guidelines for the oral presentation, we would like to call in again Professor Roger S. Michon. Sir?
Thank you, sir. I would like to remind all the presenters that tomorrow, the venue of the first part is here in this hall, and followed by the technical session one. the venue is here also, but technical session 2, that is in the KBR. So for the technical session 3, uh, so here also in minutes later, then technical session 4 sa APR. So for the guidelines of our oral presentations, so for the time limits, each presenter will have 15 to 20 minutes for their presentation, followed by the 5 minutes for Q&A. So all presenters must adhere to this limits, allow everyone a chance to share the work, and see to it that your presentation are clear, concise, and visually engaging. We also encourage active participation during the Q&A sessions. So the participants or whom I want to know, see to it that the questions and comments are respectful and focused. Unless otherwise, advise the participants, all the sessions will be fully recorded. And of course, it is made available for watching online because we have lots of uh, online viewers. I mean, we are live sa ating YouTube, Facebook, YouTube and Facebook page. So, and right after the presentation, awarding of certificates will be done right after the power session at this venue also. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask our secretariat at the top. Thank you so much, and uh, wish you all the best for tomorrow's presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Roger Kishon. At this point of time, before we conclude our afternoon session, we would like to request everyone for the photo opportunity. So we have a group photo. I would like to request the documentation committee for the photo opportunity with our resource person this afternoon, together with our executive officials, together with Dr. Ramil Lamawa, Dr. Jeffrey Karim. Of course, we have Dr. Anmen Malungkong, also Dr. Caquiles. Sige. Let's up first our presenters, sirs, moms. Can we arrange ourselves here in front for the photo opportunity together with our resource keynote speaker? Pwede rin na upo na lang dito, sir. And our presenters will stand at the back. Be ready, NISU community, our spectators this afternoon. We'd like to cross Dr. Balco, Professor Michelle, Dr. Martinez. Okay? Or shall we... Okay na ba? Okay, thank you so much. This time, we would like to call in our spectators from Northern Iloilo State University to please come forward for a photo opportunity. We would like to request other campuses at the back. Committee members, please prepare. You will be the last. Requesting our friends, colleagues from NISU Victorino Salcedo, Southern Campus. Alright, then please prepare our committees at the back. Can you move faster? Together with our organizers, sir. Okay, and last we have our organizers. This concludes our sessions for today. I hope you all had a productive and engaging experience. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take some time to relax, and we look forward to welcoming you back for another day of learning and collaboration tomorrow. Safe travels and see you all tomorrow. Have a good
May I request our player to please come on stage? Andrea, can I request all the alumni of PIP to please come on stage and have a picture together?
Jason, tawag ka ni Dave.
Nagtatanong sa mga talat ng kalumang salita na kailan mo ba magagawa? Tayo sa gilid, nakita ang kaganda. Nababalot ng liwanag mong malinaw sa akin kahit na ika'y hindi ko maintindihan pa. Nais masilayan lang iyong mga mata mo na hirap mag-isla. Di alam kung bakit ba tumabig sa iyo. Kung umuulan sa hangin